Hello, this is Michael Rubin, and we have been talking about blues in the key of D on a C chromatic third position, and we've been talking about how in a major blues you can use both the major third, F sharp, to draw a button, and the flat third, otherwise known as the minor third, to draw it without the button. And so now we're going to talk about why it sounds so good to go from 2 draw up to 2 draw with the button. The flat third up to the major third. So I call it the combination 1-2 punch, or combination flat third, major third, 1-2 punch. It's a great sound that you have been listening to in blues forever, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to get on a G harmonica, and what I'm going to do, droit is my own term, but sometimes you'll hear it called scoop bend or dip bend, and to me a droit means to begin on a bend and release it to an unbent note. So for example, here I am on a G harp, and I'm going to go from 3 bend up to 3 draw. Right? Now the trick is the bent note is quick. It's not. You could do that, but most of the time, for a droit, it is quick. The second note, you can hang on it, or it can be quick as well. So a droit could be, or both of those are droits. So you've probably done this a million times. What I'm going to do is droit on 3, and then go up to 4 draw, and then up to 5 blow, and then up to 5 draw, and then up to 6 blow. Right? We love that sound. So many people are doing that move. Well, what's really going on? If you knew the names of the notes on the G harmonica, which I can help you to do that if you go to my website, michaelrubinharmonica.com, and I got 100 free videos on how theory relates to the diatonic harmonica. You would know that those notes are F and F sharp, the flat third to the major third in the key of D, which is the cross harp key on the G harp. This is why this move works no matter which harp you're on. If you're playing cross harp, 3 single to 3 draw is the flat third to the major third. So that's what I'm doing on the chromatic. Right? It's the same thing. Right? Play the same set of notes. And each time I began with flat third, major third. So, it's a common sound. Now, one of the things that's going on that can really make it sound good is to know that F sharp is a note in the D dominant 7th chord, otherwise known as a D7 chord. And this is the main chord that the rhythm guitarist is most likely to be playing during a blues in the key of D. So during the 1 chord, which is like 75% of the song, it happens in a standard blues in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 11th, and often even in the 12th bar. I mean, it's the pervasive chord. When you play that chord, the notes are D, F sharp, A, C. Well, there's that F sharp again. So when you're playing F sharp on your chromatic, and the band is playing a 1 chord, you're playing a note that's in the chord. And that makes it sound like you know what you're doing, right? And so a lot of times, a basic concept in music that a lot of us just do naturally because we've learned by imitation is to play a chord tone on a downbeat. So hopefully you know what a downbeat is. You know, when you're tapping your foot, if you're on the beat, when your foot hits the ground, that's called a downbeat. Have you ever heard somebody at the beginning of a song, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 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 boom. You can almost hear the bass player counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the numbers are downbeats. In between the numbers are upbeats, and you can represent that with the word and. 1, and, 2, and. So one of the basic concepts in music is playing chords, chord tones on the downbeat is going to make you sound like you know what you're doing. So if the band is playing a chord, D, F sharp, A, C, and you play a D on the downbeat, or an F sharp, or an A, or a C, you sound like you know what you're doing. Now, a lot of us just do this naturally because we have been imitating harmonica solos, and not only do we imitate what notes they play, we can kind of get the feeling of the timing through imitation. And this is awesome if you have a real good sense of how to do that stuff. But if you're wondering, hey, I'm playing the same notes as Little Walter, why do I always sound like I don't know what I'm doing? The timing has something to do with it. When you play those notes, and start thinking about what are the notes in the chord, and when are the downbeats, and how can I land a chord tone right on the downbeat. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll play the flat third on the upbeat before the downbeat, and then the major third on the downbeat. So you might hear 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and 1. And that's a beautiful sound. If you can learn how to precede a downbeat and the upbeat before with the flat third to draw F, and land on the F sharp on the downbeat to draw a button, man, you're going to sound great. Okay, so it doesn't have to be on the downbeat of the 1. It could be on the downbeat of the 2. You could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? Da da I went to another note. And 2 and, but the F sharp was right on the downbeat. And that's a cool sound. It takes practice. I'm not going to say that this is easy to do from an intentional place. We do so much with music instinctually. To do it intentionally is a whole nother level. And getting it to the place where the intentional sounds fluid is a whole nother level, right? So you got to work on it. You know, this is not easy stuff. Now, I'm going to give you a word of warning. Some people are very serious that you shouldn't play the major third, F sharp, when the band goes to the 4 chord. And I'll show you why. If the band is in the key of D, the 4th note in the D major scale, do, re, mi, fa, is G. D, E, F sharp, G. So the G chord is the 4 chord in the key of D. When you play blues, most often that G chord is going to be a dominant 7th chord, otherwise known as a G7 chord. And the notes are G, B, D, and F. That's what the rhythm guitarist is playing. Well, look, I'm going to put it kind of backwards. I'm going to go F, G, B, D. This is called a voicing, when I take a chord and I put it in a different order. I want you to look at the first 2 notes. Here's F, and here's G. And here's F sharp, the note in 2 draw with the button, right? The major third. It's a half step between, it's right in between these 2 chord tones. So a lot of people don't like sounds that are only a half step away from chord tones, right? And they'll suggest that you don't play 2 draw with the button during the 4 chord. Personally, I think it's okay if you hit it and quit it. So if I go like this, during the 4 chord, it was quick, right? I think that's fine. But if you hang on that, if you hang on the F sharp to draw with the button during the 4 chord, I tend to agree with most people that it sounds a little harsh. It's not a nice sound. So that's the warning. Okay. All right. So next time we're going to learn another button choice, and we're not going to have any theory. It's just going to be press this button, you're going to sound good. So I hope you're enjoying these. Go to michaelrubinharmonica.com for more information. I give Skype lessons. I hope to hear from you. Thanks very much.